Hello student, today I am going to discuss a topic that is purification of protein. So in this topic there is a terminology that is downstream processing. You know what is downstream processing? Through downstream processing we try to purify the protein after fermentation. You have already seen a big size fermenter in lab visit. So for industrial scale production of any biomolecules, they need of huge quantity of substrate. So a terminology that is scale up or scaling up, that the meaning of this scale up or scaling up is that we apply the technique or technology from lab level to industrial level. So whatever the technique or any scientist has discovered, there should be a proper utilization. It should be applied at industrial level. Only then there is a maximum production of product from the microbial cell. During production of microbial product, there are two types. One is intracellular microbial cell production product and extracellular microbial cell production. So there are two different type of microbes, or one microbes that produce the product inside its body, then we can say it is intracellular. But when any microbes that produce a compound, a useful compound outside the body, means inside the media, where it will produce inside the container, that is known as fermenter. You have already seen a big size fermenter for industrial scale production of any metabolites. It can be antibiotic, it can be enzyme, it can be other hormones. So that can be synthesized inside the body of microbes. If the microbes release that product inside the media, then we say it is intracellular, extracellular. But if a microbes release the product inside the body itself, then it is known as intracellular. Now if we start the downstream processing, before starting the topic downstream processing, you must know the scale up. So I have already explained this terminology, means shifting of any application or technological application from lab level to industrial level, that is known as scale up. Now in this flow chart, this is the flow chart of downstream processing. We do all the all the microbial fermentation inside a large fermenter, whether the microbes will produce intracellular compound or extracellular compound. So now in this flow chart there is a bifurcation of intracellular protein and extracellular protein, means microbes that produce the protein after consumption of substrate or media inside the body itself, then it is known as intracellular protein production. So in that case, if we see, we will concern only on the cell, not the media present in fermenter. Now next process is rupturing the cell wall of microbial cell. You know, microbial cell wall is very strong. It is made up of NAM, NAM and NAG, N-acetyl muramic acid and acetyl glucosamine. That is the highly strong bonding a compound that is very strong cell wall. So there is need of disruption. For this, either we use liquid nitrogen, then we make the fragile of the cell wall of microbial cell at very low temperature, and then we crush the microbial cell. Why we crush the microbial cell inside the liquid nitrogen? Because due to presence of useful protein inside the body of microbes, that is bacteria. When we disrupt the cell wall of microbial cell, then we proceed for separation of cell debris and the protein present inside the body of that microbial cell, that is bacteria. For that we proceed centrifugation. You know centrifugation, that is we separate the cell debris and protein. Protein will solubilize in the media, buffer, and the cell debris that will make a pellet at the bottom due to centrifugal force. Or you can also use filtration. During the filtration, what happens? Cell debris that is in soluble form, it will remain suspended on the filter paper, and the protein that has solubilized in the media, in the buffer media, will come out through this liquid buffer. After separation of solid cell debris and protein already solubilized in the buffer media. Now next step is purification of protein, that is soluble protein. So what are the techniques through which we purify the protein of microbial cell, that is bacterial cell? There are a lot of techniques for the purification of that protein. First is precipitation, second ion exchange chromatography, third gel permeation chromatography, and fourth affinity chromatography. So any one technique you can utilize for final purification of protein. Then there are so many contaminants present in the crude protein, the initial protein. So first we purify the protein, then through any techniques, either we take that we can utilize ion exchange chromatography or gel permeation chromatography or affinity chromatography. So you can utilize any molecular technique for final purification, ultra purification of that protein. The next step is concentrating the purified protein, although this protein is in dilute form. So if you want to utilize this protein as antibiotic or enzyme, so you have to concentrate the protein. For this you have to remove the salt, any impurities from that liquid form protein, and then we utilize the technique that is precipitation. So for precipitation we put all the liquid form of protein in cellulose balloon and then put inside the sugar solution. What is happening? Exosmosis occur. So whatever the salt or impurity that will release out, and a small volume, suppose there are 50 ml, it will reduce to 10 ml or 15 ml or 20 ml. It means they are increasing the concentration of protein content, because we are going to reduce the total volume of protein. Now if you have exposed the protein that was present in bacterial cell, now when it will come in the environment, it can be degrade or denatured. So you know the meaning of denaturation. If you are going to remove all the type of bond, whether it is the ionic bond or covalent bond or disulfide bond, then only polypeptide chain remain there. This process is known as denaturation, and other word is degradation. When we are going to degrade, means breaking the peptide bond also, then it is known as degradation. After degradation, protein can never regain its function, but after denaturation, protein can renature, means it can again attain the particular conformation or configuration, so that it will work as enzyme or hormones or toxin as per requirement. So to maintain the functional aspect, we have to use the stabilizer, preservatives, so that it will maintain the biopotency of that protein, which either act as enzyme, which either act as antibiotics or act as hormone or act as toxin. So this is the ultimately maintain the protein functional aspect. Now we finally make the protein in powdered form, means we are going to convert the protein from liquid form into powder solid form, that is known as lyophilization. After freeze drying, we make the powder form of that particular useful protein and then encapsulate, so that we can use and we can sell, we can send from one place to a distant place. So this is overall, means if you are making a solid powder form, for that we can utilize drum drying, pelleting, freeze drying, lyophilization. Then finally we do the process of encapsulation, so that the protein become covered with particular layer, and we can transport that protein easily from one place to other place for different purposes as per requirement. Next, next heading, that was extracellular. In case of extracellular extraction of the protein, we are concerned with the media in which we are growing the microbial cell or bacterial cell. So we proceed all the process initially inside the fermenter. So there is need of big fermenter for industrial scale production of the protein. For that we put 60 to 70% or maximum 80% volume of fermenter. 20% volume of fermenter remain unused because lot of heat, lot of air is also required for respiration of the microbial cell. In that situation, we proceed the fermentation after putting the microbial culture in a large volume of media inside the fermenter. After fermentation is completed, in presence of oxygen, in presence of sterile condition, we separate the microbial cell and the media. In case of extracellular protein extraction, we discard the microbial cell, we discard the bacterial cell. After discarding the bacterial cell, we will concern for purification of protein that is present inside the media. For this purpose, we utilize the same technique as in case of intracellular purification, that is precipitation, ion exchange chromatography, gel permeation chromatography, affinity chromatography. Now, after utilization of any molecular technique, we again concentrate the protein content that is solubilized in any buffer in soluble form. For that, we can utilize same thing, that is cellulose membrane pocket. We put all the liquid form of the protein inside that cellulose membrane and we make a sac-like structure. Then we suspend this small sac-like structure inside the sucrose media. So what happens? Whatever the impurity, whatever the salt, that will release out from that liquid form of the protein. So the volume of that liquid form of protein going to reduced and there is a increase in concentration of protein. So in the same way, we again proceed for stabilization of the protein function through using different preservatives to maintain a biopotency. You know, I have already discussed in intracellular extraction purification means maintain the functional aspect of protein, whether that protein act as enzyme or act as antibiotic or act as hormones or act as toxin. As per requirement, we maintain the stabilization of that particular protein that is present in liquid form. So we also preserve at low temperature so that there should be no degradation of protein. I have already discussed the meaning, the difference in degradation and denaturation. Denatured protein can be renatured, means retain the function, regain the function, but degraded protein can never retain its function. It lost its property, means they are going to destroy. So after maintaining the stabilization functional aspect of the protein, again we proceed for lyophilization. For lyophilization, that is conversion of liquid form of protein into solid powder form through drum drying or pelleting or freeze drying. So after making the protein, useful protein in the useful powder form, we encapsulate the protein for transportation purpose, for selling purpose, as per the requirement of the market, whether the protein that is going to utilize for as a antibiotic or the protein utilized as hormones or utilized as other useful compounds. So this is the whole story of downstream processing. Now if you want to understand the downstream processing, then you must follow the flow chart. And now the purification level, you know, this is the flow chart. Okay, now I am going to tell that this is the flow, this is the table that indicate the total protein extraction and then in different process: the crude extraction, precipitation of in salt, precipitation of pH, ion exchange chromatography, affinity chromatography, size exclusion chromatography. And you know, in the right side column there is activity. So the protein that has maximum activity, that have higher activity, specific activity. Sorry, I'm telling about a specific activity. So how can you calculate this specific activity? A specific activity is the actual activity of protein that indicate the purity level of any protein in different molecular techniques. So for calculating the specific activity, we must divide the activity, the total unit, with the total protein. In case of crude protein extract, a specific activity is 200. Similarly, in precipitation 600, precipitation in salt, precipitation through pH 1000, ion exchange chromatography, a specific activity is 4000, affinity chromatography, a specific activity is 15000, and size exclusion chromatography, a specific activity is 15. So in two cases the same specific activity is there. It means the purity level in affinity chromatography and size activity exclusion chromatography is maximum. Means a specific activity is directly proportional to purity level of any molecular technique. Whether you will choose a precipitation technique, ion exchange chromatography, affinity chromatography, it will depend upon the specific activity. Higher the specific activity, higher the purity level of protein. So you will calculate and then you will decide which technique you will utilize for ultra purification of any proteins. So that table indicate the calculation of a specific activity to find out which technique has low purity level, which technique has high purity level. The precipitation or crude extraction that has lowest purity level means low specific activity. Size exclusion chromatography, affinity chromatography has highest specific activity. Now I want to tell you a word that is GRAS, generally regarded as safe organisms. Generally regarded as safe organisms. So there are some useful microbes. They are generally used in molecular biology, microbial cell culture, that is that do not produce any toxin, that do not cause any disease, and that do not produce any antibiotic. Such type of microbes is known as GRAS. So you must know what is GRAS. G, generally regarded as safe organisms. So we do the microbial culture through process of fermentation inside the fermenter in presence of sufficient amount of medium for the production of any useful compound, because that microbes is non-toxic, do not cause any disease, and do not produce any antibiotics. Next, the same way in plant also we get useful protein. That example is papain. Papain, it is a enzyme that we obtain from latex of green fruit and leaf of papaya tree. So that papain, it is a very useful compound. How can you do? How can we obtain? Through plant tissue culture. So if we do the plant tissue culture, then we can produce huge quantity of papain. So that is used for meat tenderization, that is softening of meat, clarification of beverage, means clearing the insoluble form of material present in the alcohol or syrup, and then also used in digestive aid for digestion purpose and wound cleaning solution. So there are so many chemicals that is used for cleaning the wound. You know wound, the microbial action on our skin that create wound. So that have vast application. That papain, that is a very useful protein, useful, that is enzyme we obtain from latex of green fruit and the leaves of papaya, and that have vast application like meat tenderization, clearing the beverage, then digestion of our food, as well as the wound cleaning solution. In the same way, we have used the recombinant DNA technology for production of insulin inside the E. coli bacterial cell. Initially, for one diabetic patient, there was killing of 100 pigs or 1500 cow to meet the insulin requirement from their pancreas. But India, there are a lot of diabetes case. How can we fulfill the requirement of such insulin demand? In that case, we can use a molecular farming technique, that is utilization of bacteria. Means first we isolate the gene from our pancreas and then transfer the gene in the plasmid of E. coli bacteria. Now when we do the fermentation, a huge quantity of that insulin protein is going to produce. How it is possible? Means the gene also going to clone along with the plasmid of E. coli bacteria, and then by process of transcription and translation we get sufficient amount of protein from that E. coli bacteria, and then through process of downstream processing we collect that protein and we purify that protein. So this is the utilization of recombinant DNA technology. Now we are also utilizing the transgenic animals for production of insulin, because what are the reason for creation of transgenic animals for production of insulin or any useful compound? So these are the four reasons. We can produce high production capacity, means we can produce in high quantity, easy source of material collection, if you are utilizing the milk animal, from the milk of that transgenic cow we get that materials. Then moderate capital instrument requirement and low operation cost. So they not requirement of such big size laboratory or big size instrument. So the low requirement for operation cost for the production of the huge quantity of that useful protein. It can be insulin, or it can be other antibiotics, or it can be other hormones. So their utilization of the recombinant DNA technology for creation of transgenic plant or animal. It is also is of production including purification and scale up. So during the meaning of purification and scale up, I have already discussed. Through downstream processing means we can easily produce that compound and we purify that compound. We can also utilize that techniques for production from lab level to industrial level. So this is the lot of application of recombinant DNA technology. We can utilize the bacteria, we can utilize the animals, we can utilize the plant. So that concept is known as molecular farming. The molecular farming means not utilization of only plant, utilization of transgenic plant, transgenic microbes, transgenic animals. So this is the concept of molecular farming. Now if we see the purification scheme for a given protein, then we must know what are the source and where is the source for the raw materials, whether it is located nearby our industry or not, whether the utilization of the microbe is going to produce intracellular or extracellular. This should be considered during stabilization of industry. Next point, we must consider the quantity of protein required and hence amount of raw material process. Means what is the demand of particular protein? As per the demand, we collect the raw material and then we process that raw material through industrial setup and produce large quantity of that protein with the help of microbes. Next is the physical, chemical and biological property of protein. So you must be familiar with the physical property of the protein, chemical property of the protein, biological property of the protein. If that protein that is utilized for antibiotic purpose, then there is optimum utilization of that protein. If that protein is utilized for hormonal purpose, then there is optimal utilization of that protein. So as per the requirement, as per the value of the protein on the basis of physical, chemical and biological basis, we decide whether that there is need of production of that protein or not. So this is the whole story about protein, purification of the protein. In nutshell, we have studied the scale of terminology of the scale of concept of downstream processing, then a specific activity. The specific activity is directly proportional to purification level of protein. On that basis, we decide the technique we utilize for purification level of protein. So thank you and have a nice day.